Hey y'all, we are coming at you again from the Haunted Liberty Theater and Museum in Nanny Glow. And we have two members of Residual Haunts here with us, Jackie and Emily. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so you just got off the stage and you were speaking. Tell me a little bit about what you were letting everyone know.
Oh, let's see. We were talking about Residual Haunts, how we go around and host events. Where people can come out and join us at haunted locations. We teach them how to use equipment. We investigate with them, and then we let them kind of go off and do their own investigation. Yeah. We keep our group small, so there's no more than like 15 people with us. So
sometimes
when you go,
less.
So when you go to these locations, you're getting the true paranormal experience without 80 people at these locations.
And we want it about the customer. We want it about the person buying the ticket. We want them to have what they're coming for. If you want to learn and investigate with us, that's what you're getting. If you want to go off and free roam, that's what you're getting. I mean, obviously we have to follow rules of the location particularly, but we try and make it about the people, not us.
If they want.
Yeah, and that's awesome because I think that like so many of us want to go to certain places, but maybe don't have enough people or the money to have a private one or whatever it is. And then when you can come to an event like that, then and you know that it's small and that it's intimate, you'll know that you'll get the experience that you're looking for without having to go through everything else.
Absolutely.
So do you get a lot of like beginners, people who have never done it before?
Absolutely.
Yes. I feel like
that's
it
from beginning. Well, it's usually a 50-50, you know, and like you said, it's a cost factor. So, you know, these people that are experienced and to go to certain locations, well, it's $1,200 to go through to run out of, you know, location on your own.
And you might not know that many people to split it. You might have to cover a lot of it.
Yeah. You get the groups together, small group, and you guys go on out there. You get the same experience, and you saved yourself some money. You know, that's
and you have people that have been experienced and have been to lots of locations and can teach you maybe what you don't know. And I'm sure that you probably learn just as much from everybody else as they learn from you too. So
absolutely,
it's an awesome experience for everyone.
Yes.
How long have you guys been doing this?
So I have been involved in the paranormal since I was a child. I ended up getting involved later on. I got married, so I kind of had to push that aside. So once my daughter grew up, I had gotten back into the field. I worked for another company that went out of business. That's actually where I met Miss Emily there.
Yeah.
She was on one of my investigations.
And we literally just hit it off. I went to one through that same company the night before, and they were like, "Tell Jackie I said hi." And I was like, "Okay." So I walk up to her. I'm like, "Jackie?" She's like, "Yeah. Who are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm Emily. Aaron told me to tell you hi." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then we just hit it off.
I was saying how awesome that like formed that connection.
Literally like that. It was amazing.
Yep. So then we had talked about it for a while, and we launched Residual Haunts in January. So
wow. How many investigations have you gone on this year?
We have done 5 so far. We have Wilson Castle coming up next Saturday. Month of October, I also work for Penhurst and the Hinsdale House.
Oh, awesome.
So my month of October and the first 2 weeks in November is all dedicated for Penhurst. We have the haunt attraction, so we'll be doing all of that. And then we have Whitehall Mansion coming up November 30th. And then I think that might be kind of the end for this year. But we've already started booking for 2025. I just haven't gotten the locations up on our website yet.
And then we have a bunch of locations booked for like kind of testing out the waters to see if it's worth hosting an event. So we do that too. And then like aside from that, she obviously does things without me and I do things without her. So we've been to a lot of places this year.
Yes.
Any highlights from the places that you've been in 2024?
Oh my goodness.
Particular location that might stand out?
Well, we were just talking about Penhurst, how we were down in the Devon building investigating, and everything was going off left and right in there. And this one here kept saying, "You think we should leave yet?"
Well, this one doesn't tell you. I said, "Do you want us to leave?" And everything goes off. And I was like, "Okay, they want us to leave." She's like, "We're not going yet." And I was like, "Okay." And then it kept telling us to leave. And I was like, nope. Okay. So I just sat there. I was like, okay.
I'm all about trying to find the paranormal experience out there. So, you know, you tell me to leave or you're trying to do all that. I'm more curious. I want to know more of the story. You know, I want you to know that I'm not threatening. I'm just there to get your story out and, you know, want them to be comfortable. But in this particular incident, they drained us. They were doing everything they could. They did not want us there. And we're typically bubbly people when we're out and about.
We always
you
usually
know,
stay
we're a
pretty
good time.
energetic and yeah.
Yep. And we came out of there. We were dead. You may have thought we were up for 3 days.
Wow.
So
well, and it is a really draining environment. And with all of the history that's there too, sometimes I think as well that they might say, leave in an attempt to be like, are you going to abandon me too?
Exactly.
Or are you going to stay and stick around a little bit? And maybe if you do, then I'll come and be more familiarized with you. And then I can show you what's really going
Right.
on.
Absolutely.
And I think the one thing we always say is we are our biggest tool.
Yeah.
And in that moment, being in that like hallway there, it just fell off like immediately. Like it did not feel good.
Mhm.
And so that was immediately why I was like, do you not want us here? And it was telling us yes. And I was like, okay, well,
and I think a lot of the time too, like we have, I mean, especially as women, I feel like we're taught to like not really like listen to ourselves, and someone else is always telling
well, I mean,
us a little bit
everybody's
about,
telling you
like,
that monster's not under the bed. Like you're
right.
grown up told not to kind of listen to your gut.
So how did you when did you guys start really like using yourselves as the main tool?
Oh, I am just now starting to let some of my walls come down in certain locations that I go through. Within fear that I can't bring them back up, and I don't want to go through what I went through as a child. You know, the paralysis dreams and the out of body experiences. So it's still freshly, you know, you're dropping those layers, but you're also learning how to bring them right back up. So it's still a game back and forth.
Well, and a balance too.
Exactly.
Right? Because like you don't ever want to completely immerse yourself in something that you don't really know if you can come back out of, but also being able to protect yourself from things that you have to.
Exactly.
See, and I think she has a lot of like medium type things where I don't think I have that as much. I've had a lot of personal experiences, but I don't think I have I'm not super intuitive like she is, but I just recently had like a super amazing experience where I felt like I knew this person forever. And every time I'd go to this location, I could not figure it out until without going into detail, because it's a long story. I had one of my friends that is a medium with me, and we actually became friends over this, and he confirmed everything for me without even knowing me or knowing that I've had this thing that I felt. And I found out through a thing that in a past life, this man was an old husband of mine.
I literally was about to say, most of the time when that happens, it's connected to some type of past life.
Yes.
So,
and I've always believed in past life,
amazing.
but I've never had my own experience until recently. And it was just one of the most amazing thing that's ever blown me away, with me having those feelings and then having them validated.
Well, as you said, not being maybe as intuitive or not really picking up on certain things, but when it's right in front of your face, you can't deny it at some point in time. And now that you have more confirmation, is it something that you want to go back to and find out more?
So we did. We did.
Yes.
And that's when we found out more. It's a long story, but we ended up sitting down doing a really long investigation with it and found out literally everything. And
there was a picture to boot. So the psychic medium type of thing is describing to her, you know, what he's picking up on, what he's seeing type of thing. And there was a picture, and she showed him the picture that was in the building. She's like, there's something with here. And he's like, that's it.
That's who it was. And he's like, I've been to this location so many times, and this spirit has never came to me, ever. And then he's like, the one investigation that you go to that I'm at, he comes through and he's telling me to tell you this, but I couldn't figure out why or which person he wanted me to tell. And he's like, the minute you sat down next to me, he was coming through, and he described this man to a T. And I took his picture just because at this point it's been the 5th or 6th time that I've been there. And I was like, okay, I need to take his picture because I need to figure out who this man is. And I'm thinking okay, he's maybe an old relative. So I'm going through ancestry and everything. I couldn't find nothing. And then he reaches out to me a few days later, and I was like, okay, we need to go back. So we booked it and went back. And that's when we found everything out.
That's amazing. I am about to do a past life regression next month. And so I wonder, have you ever considered maybe doing your past life regression with somebody else one-on-one to see if that same person would come through and learn even more, or
I
about
wouldn't-
other people that
I
you might be
haven't
connected
like
to?
thought about it, but I definitely would do it. I think
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
I think she's still letting it sink in. I think this is fairly fresh for her.
yeah,
Okay.
it was
So-
recent. It was like within a month
Wow.
that it's happened.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know about your beliefs, about the afterlife or whatnot. You were saying that, like, past life is definitely something that you believed in before. With the experiences that you both had, has anything kind of challenged the beliefs that you've had previously, and have any of those previous beliefs grown?
Yes, without going too far in detail with a lot of things. It has definitely changed your perspective on a lot of things. Like I said, part of this is, trying to reach out. Is there an afterlife? Isn't there an afterlife? And things that you're starting to pick up on, are these spirits, to them, are we spirits?
Yeah.
Do they see us moving around in their world like we see, are picking up on them? Do they see us? Do they just hear us? Are they hearing knocks and bangs like we're hearing, with our footsteps and stuff like that? And this is what makes this world completely amazing, getting out there. And I don't think that we have fully developed enough equipment and stuff to get that proof that we're really
that all of us are really searching for.
Everybody is looking
exactly
for, yeah.
Right.
I think the technology needs to be advanced a lot more before we're going to get answers, but it's not going to stop me from searching.
Well, and I think too that, like, people need that type of validation, especially like if you're a little bit skeptical or you have a belief system that is very rigid and doesn't allow you to be open to those experiences. It's that type of evidence that I think brings a skeptic in, or their own personal experience. So without having either one of those, it's hard to bring somebody into an experience and say, hey, this is real.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to have somebody that's trying to say, no, that's not.
Exactly. You're going to have your haters, your non-believers. My husband for the long time was a non-believer, even with certain things that I would come through. And I took him to a location and I am talking to the crowd and doing that. And a friend of mine is sitting there and is running the EVP recorder, just kind of recording everything that I'm saying. And they played it back. Now, I was the only one talking. There were other people, and you hear other voices come through there. And he was like, I was sitting right there. Nothing was said.
Yeah.
So that's what started his amazement. And each time that I bring him out more and more, and he's like, wow. So I think it's a big thing. A lot of people are afraid of the unknown.
Right.
But once you get out there and you start experiencing a little here, a little there, and then the wheels get turning and going from there, it opens a whole new door for everybody.
Well, I also think that we all think that we know what we know,
Right.
until we don't.
Exactly.
And when you're open yourself up enough to say, I don't know, you can embrace the unknown, and a whole new world becomes available to you.
Exactly.
100%. I was telling them downstairs when we were speaking, they're 95% of what people think are paranormal isn't paranormal. There's usually an explanation if you go through and you look into and do the research behind it. But that 5% that you can't explain, that you are just blown away, that's what keeps you coming back. And it just keeps grasping at you like, come figure it out. And I'm determined, may it be in my lifetime or not. And if it's not, that's okay, as long as we're passing on the knowledge to others to get out there and to keep this field going and to do it within love and paraunity and stop trashing everybody else down. You know?
And I love this event because of that, right?
Exactly.
Like, there's so many people that either don't know each other or have seen each other in passing or follow each other on social media. But when we all get here, we all treat each other like we've known each other for forever.
Exactly.
And we're embracing everyone's different, unique parts of this unknown world. And no one's trying to get one leg up on anybody else. We're just here to celebrate everything that we love and are interested in, which just happens to be a lot of the same things.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that.
100%.
But I swear I've met some of the best people doing this, and it's amazing because you can kind of like talk stories and have the same experiences or have something that person has been wanting to happen, and you get to tell them your story and vice versa. Like, it's just amazing. I love it.
I can't tell you how many people's reaction when they're like, well, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, well, I'm a paranormal investigator. What? You want to talk about some conversation starters that opens with that. And then you got other people that are like, well, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, well, I'm a paranormal investigator. What? You want to talk about some conversation starters that opens with that. And then you got other people that are like, well, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, well, I'm a paranormal investigator. What? You want to talk about some conversation starters that opens with that. And then you got other people that are like, Okay, thank you. I'm out, you know?
Registering that in my
too.
brain, but I'll see you later.
Yep.
Are there any investigations that you have upcoming that you're really excited about, or is there like a bucket list of places that you haven't been to yet that you're even more excited about?
There's both.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I have a list. I have a list.
I know a lot more of mine. Like I said, we basically do a lot of the East Coast. I've been to Indiana State Sanatorium. We've done a couple of those. But I would like to spread out more towards the Kentucky area, the California area, go to some of those, movie or not. I would love to go check out the Stanley.
Yeah.
I
know.
want to
The
go to
Stanley's-
Alcatraz.
Ooh.
Yes.
Just don't leave anything in your car, because when you park there, there's notorious thieves and they'll break into your cars. Had a friend that went there. Thousands of equipment, $1,000 of equipment are gone. So just an FYI for that.
Forewarning.
But I think
That's
that would
kinda
be
like-
really, really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like Iron Island. It's the same type of way. I'd love to get out there, but
Mhm. You
I
have to
also
take
would
your
like to go out of the
Yes.
country too. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
out of the country.
oh
is
my God,
amazing.
going over and doing some of them in Ireland. and
Ireland,
stuff.
Italy.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you think there's so much of a rich history here at all these different locations, and every time that you go to one, you just get deeper and deeper and deeper. We haven't been around for as long,
Exactly,
so
yeah.
it's like how much history is really out there that you can dig way further into. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to go to a castle.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes.
That would be
Absolutely.
awesome.
We're actually going to a castle.
Oh, Wilson
next week.
Castle, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Castle,
in
yes.
Vermont?
Vermont.
Yes.
Yes. So when I first started going there and they handed me the keys, I took a picture and I was like, how many people can say they have the keys to the castle?
Right?
You know?
That's really awesome.
Yep.
Has there ever been a location that you've gone to that you're like, I will never go back there?
Not for me.
Never go back to. I don't know. I don't think I've had anything that was like that negative that I wouldn't go back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that there's ever been anywhere that's like scared me to that point that I'm like, I don't think I'd go back.
But even if it did, I think for me, like I said, I'm a paranormal junkie as
Yeah.
well. But, so with that, I may need to step back if there's ever anything that may throw me off my game.
Mm.
But I will need to go back to get answers at
Yeah.
some point in time. So I don't think that there's anything that could really push me away to be like, nope, not doing it again.
Has anything maybe negative ever followed you home? Have you had attachment, like anything like that? And if, our viewers are experiencing that now, like how would you advise them to deal with that? I know everybody has their own particular thing, but from your own experiences, what would you tell them?
I have had attachments from a location that was not too far from here. Actually, a bunch of us that were paranormal investigators that evening all had the same thing. There were shadow figures going on. People were being touched. There were bangs. There were all this. And it felt like almost like a deep, severe depression. And at first I thought maybe it's just because we're working so hard. We're working ourselves to the bone. We're tired. We're exhausted. And not many of us really talked about it that much.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in the night, everybody's like, are you okay? And we're asking, are you okay? Like, just something is off, And it took about 7 to 10 days. There was a lot of, everyone saying prayers for everyone, crystals, saging. Can I tell you what worked, what didn't work? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you it was like once it lifted, you were a whole new person.
Like you could certainly tell.
Absolutely. It was a whole new, it was like from night and day difference on how you felt. And like I said, between all of us, it was like a 7 to 10 day time frame period. And then everybody's like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's like, okay, we don't know what it was. We all were back at those locations again and never had anything. I know hers was at another location. Hers was something totally different.
And mine was like an attachment, but a different experience. It wasn't negative. We were at the Conjuring House. We were there for like 4 nights, and it was, I think, the second or third night we were there. So we had already been there, and I haven't had like any negative. I haven't had any attachments, nothing like that. And it was the first time I felt like not me. And then I was literally just standing there, and I just started bawling. And she's like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I don't know why I'm crying. And I couldn't quit crying. And I just felt like I'd lost somebody, and it was horrible. And it took a couple hours for me to like.
Yeah. And in that situation, though, with it going on there, we pulled her outside to ground her outside to get her out of the location to, get her back in her right frame of mind.
Which
That
it
makes
was good
take a little
because
bit-
she was there and she knows me because like I'm usually like she said we're always happy, energetic, and in that moment I wasn't. And she's like, okay, we need to get you out of here, and I was like, but I don't think I should. Like I think I need to stay. She's like, no, you need to. Like we
It's
need
so
to get you
important to
out.
have somebody that knows
Yeah.
you,
Yes.
because then you can look out for each other, and then like grounding is like the biggest thing, right? Like let's
Yes.
come back into our body, let's come back to this moment, and
Exactly.
the best time to do that is just sometimes take off your shoes and your socks and put your feet in the dirt.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Grass, get around,
Yeah.
get that karma thing back over.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that like some people don't protect themselves. Maybe they don't have a belief system for that, and that's okay. But I think that everybody has to have a practice that brings them back to themselves, because when you immerse yourself
Or even
into
just
the
a
unknown,
person.
right?
Yeah.
And even a
Yep.
person that says like, "Snap out of it," or "Hey, I know that you're struggling, and I'm gonna help you." We all have to have those people, and I'm glad that
Absolutely.
you guys have each other, and I'm really glad that we got to meet at
Absolutely.
Paraunity Paracon in Danny Glow. So, where can you tell our viewers to find your event pages and socials?
So you can go on to www.residualhaunts.com. On there is our webpage. If you click on the 3 little dotted lines up there, it'll take you to our events. We are also on what else? Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're
Facebook,
on
TikTok.
TikTok. All of
You
that.
can find them anywhere.
Yes, we
Under
are
Residual
around.
Awesome. Well, good luck into all of your events, and hopefully
Yes.
I'll see you guys at one in the future.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll have to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.